Welcome back to the heat. Finance ministers and central bankers are in Washington, D.C. this week for the International Monetary Fund and World Bank spring meetings. And there's been growing support for China's new Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank. CCTV's Daniel Ryntjes now joins us with more. Thank you for joining us, Daniel. You know, you're at the IMF, the World Bank. They were seen as rivals to this new AIIB, but there seems to be some sort of cooperation now in the air. And how does that jib with US opposition to this bank that we've seen for several months now?
Well, let me just set the scene here. A couple of days ago, I was here, and you could hear a pin drop in this entire room that we have here. I'm on the balcony, and as you can see, the banner for the spring meetings of the IMF World Bank are here. People are flurrying in and out. There are lots of people in suits, lots of very clever people. A lot of them, though, now focus not so much on these traditional institutions, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, but the consequences of what the AIIB will mean for them. And the World Bank in particular, instead of this sort of expected defensiveness that some had been predicting from the World Bank, instead what we've had is a real opening up from World Bank President Kim to say, we are ready to work with you. We've got lots and lots of projects that we think we could work together on. We know that you're still gathering together all the principles that will go into the bank and gathering up all the staff that will go into the bank. So in the meantime, when you do get going, we will have all of our expertise here to work with you to set up projects and co-finance them. So there's no sense of defensiveness here. But yes, I think from the Obama administration's perspective, perhaps a little bit uncomfortable because of the fact that they haven't got in on this AIIB bank. But one thing I do want to say about this, within the Obama administration, there was undoubtedly a debate that we never heard about between whether they should get on board or stay away altogether. And in the end, I think those who said stay away altogether probably pointed at Congress. Congress has been unwilling even to support the American Export-Import Bank, even though it's entirely in America's own interest. So the idea that politically there could have been support for the AIIB here in Washington is pretty much a pipe dream. So I think the Obama administration's mistake, according to many experts, was not to show any signs of support at all, and not to at least show some sense in which they were willing to get involved. The World Bank, the IMF have now taken that position. The Americans have big stakes in both these institutions. So I think that's where we're going to see the forward movement.
Where there is cooperation between the Obama administration and Congress, though, is on this Trade Promotion Authority. That would give the US president the ability to negotiate free trade deals, which, of course, we're talking about the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which is the key one for Asia, and then present it as is to Congress. What is that going to mean for this potential trade deal? And also US-China relationships, Daniel, because as we know, China is not part of this free trade negotiation and has been pushing its own version.
Well, I think if you frame it up in the terms in which many people in Washington do, which is a rivalry between the United States and China, what you're going to conclude is that the Trade Promotion Authority is one step towards further alienating China from a club that the Americans want to create, which is namely the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which doesn't include them, but does include many of the major Asian powers. On the other hand, some will say, wait a minute here. There is no sense in which China cannot join this club. Yes, they are going to proceed with the negotiations towards the creation of the TPP without China's participation. But there is no sense in which the Americans or any of the other participants is closing the door to China. So some will say this is more a matter of timing for the Chinese, that they simply cannot align the stars at this time to be involved in this. Yeah. But to conclude that this is a zero-sum game at this point would be foolhardy.
Daniel Ryntjes at the IMF World Bank spring meetings. Thank you so much. Joining us now.